The Barangay Justice System, BJS, formerly called Katarungang Pambarangay, is the primary community-based dispute resolution mechanism in the Philippines, mandated by the Local Government Code of 1991, RA 7160. It operates at the barangay level, smallest administrative unit, to resolve conflicts through mediation, conciliation, and arbitration, prioritizing amicable settlements over formal court proceedings. The BJS primary goal is to resolve conflicts peacefully through conciliation and mediation, avoiding formal court proceedings whenever possible. This community-based approach leverages local knowledge and relationships to facilitate settlements. The system is designed to be accessible, affordable, and quicker than the regular court system. In many instances, mediation through the BJS is mandatory before a case can be brought to a higher court. The BJS typically handles civil disputes and minor criminal cases with penalties of less than 1 year imprisonment or fines under 5,000 pesos. Core features of the BJS. 1. Legal basis. Established under RA 7160, Sections 399 to 422, the BJS aims to a. Decongest courts by resolving minor disputes locally. b. Promote Filipino cultural values like pakikisama, mutual cooperation, and haya, sense of propriety. c. Provide accessible, swift, and low-cost justice. 2. Scope of authority. The BJS handles civil disputes and minor criminal offenses where a. The penalty is equal or less than 1 year imprisonment or a fine of equal or less than 5,000 pesos. b. Parties reside in the same city or municipality or adjoining barangays. c. Real property disputes, if located within the same barangay. Exceptions. Cases involving the government, public officials, serious crimes, or disputes requiring urgent court action, example, habeas corpus. 3. Key participants. A. Lupong Tagapamayapa, a committee chaired by the Punong Barangay, village chief, with 10 to 20 community members. b. Pangkat Tagapagkasundo, a 3-member panel formed to mediate or arbitrate disputes. How it works. 1. Filing a complaint. A complainant submits a grievance, orally or in writing, to the Punong Barangay, who summons the respondent within 1 working day. 2. Mediation and conciliation. A. The Punong Barangay facilitates dialogue between parties to reach a settlement. b. If unresolved within 15 days, a pangkat is formed to mediate. 3. Arbitration, if needed. If mediation fails, parties may voluntarily agree to binding arbitration. The pangkat issues a written decision, arbitration award, enforceable like a court judgment after a 10-day repudiation period. 4. Certification to file action, CFA. If no settlement is reached, the BJS issues a CFA, allowing the complainant to pursue the case in court. Key principles. A. No legal representation. Parties represent themselves to maintain informality. b. Confidentiality. Proceedings are private unless public interest dictates otherwise. c. Binding settlement. Agreements are enforceable through barangay authorities or courts. Impact and limitations. A. Strengths. Resolves about 80% of disputes locally, reduces court backlog, and preserves community harmony. b. Challenges. Limited to minor cases. Lacks formal judicial powers. The Barangay Justice System, BJS, or Katarungang Pambarangay, uses conciliation, mediation, and arbitration as progressive steps in resolving disputes. These methods prioritize amicable settlements over formal court proceedings, reflecting Filipino cultural values of community harmony. The differences of conciliation, mediation, and arbitration. 1. Conciliation. This is often the initial attempt at resolving a dispute. It's a relatively informal process, usually led by the barangay captain or a designated lupon member. The focus is on open dialogue, helping parties understand each other's perspectives, and exploring mutually acceptable solutions. The conciliator guides the parties toward a compromise but doesn't impose a solution. A successful conciliation results in a legally binding agreement if signed and witnessed. 2. Mediation. If conciliation fails, the process moves to mediation. This stage is more structured and involves a pangkat tagapagkasundo conciliation panel, typically comprising 3 members from the lupang tagapamayapa. The panel facilitates a structured discussion, aiming for a mutually agreeable settlement. Successful mediation also results in a legally binding agreement. 3. Arbitration. This is the final stage and only occurs if both mediation and conciliation fail and both parties voluntarily agree to it. A neutral pangkat arbitration panel evaluates evidence, hears testimonies, and issues a binding decision called an arbitration award. This award is legally enforceable like a court judgment after a 10-day period where either party can reject the decision. Arbitration provides a decisive conclusion while maintaining the community-focused nature of the BJS. Key differences. 1. Formality. Conciliation is less formal and flexible. Mediation is more structured than conciliation. Arbitration is the most structured and evidence-based. 2. Led person. In conciliation, the punong barangay or lupon member will lead the process. Pangkat tagapagkasundo, 3-member panel, will lead the mediation. While pangkat, 3-member panel, binding decision, will lead the arbitration. 3. Decision. Conciliation let parties negotiate, it remains non-binding unless signed. The same with mediation, its decision remains non-binding unless signed. In arbitration, the panel imposes a binding decision. 4. Typical stage. Conciliation is the first attempt at resolution. Mediation follows after unsuccessful conciliation. Arbitration follows after unsuccessful conciliation and mediation, with mutual consent. The BJS prioritizes amicable settlements, reflecting Filipino cultural values. If these processes fail, a certificate to file action, CFA, is issued, allowing the case to proceed to formal court. The entire system emphasizes accessibility, affordability, and swift resolution of local disputes. The BJS exemplifies the Philippines' commitment to grassroots justice, blending traditional values with legal pragmatism. For example, a neighborly noise dispute would typically be resolved through BJS mediation, avoiding costly and time-consuming court processes. Understanding the barangay summon. 1. The summoning process. While there isn't a specific summon document like in formal court proceedings, the process of bringing individuals before the BJS involves several steps. A. Filing a complaint. A resident files a complaint with the lupang tagapamayapa, Barangay Conciliation Committee, or the barangay secretary. This complaint outlines the issue and the parties involved. B. Notification of parties. The lupang tagapamayapa then notifies the involved parties of the complaint and schedules a hearing through. This notification might be a verbal or written notice, depending on the barangay's practices. The notice effectively serves as an informal summons, requiring the parties to appear before the committee. C. Conciliation, mediation. At the hearing, the punong barangay, village chief, or a designated mediator attempts to resolve the dispute amicably. If successful, a compromise agreement is signed. If not, a certificate to file action, CFA, is issued, allowing the parties to proceed to court. 2. Legal basis and authority. The BJS's legal foundation is primarily the Local Government Code of 1991, Republic Act No. 71/60. This code empowers barangays to handle local disputes and outlines the procedures they should follow. Other relevant laws, including those pertaining to specific types of disputes, also influence the system's operations. In summary, while there's no formal barangay summon law, the BJS uses informal yet legally recognized methods to bring parties involved in a dispute to a conciliation or mediation hearing. This process, rooted in the Local Government Code and other relevant legislation, is a vital part of the Philippine legal system, aiming to resolve conflicts peacefully at the community level. The notification to attend the hearing functions as the effective summons.
The barangay justice system, known as Katarungang Pambarangay, serves as a vital conflict resolution mechanism at the grassroots level. It aims to settle disputes amicably through mediation and arbitration, fostering community harmony. Local leaders facilitate these processes, ensuring accessibility and fairness. By empowering citizens to resolve conflicts, this system promotes social cohesion, strengthens community ties, and alleviates the burden on formal courts, embodying a true spirit of justice.